AIMA searched the current passport number and found nothing. Then someone searched the old passport number and found a receipt. Same person. 2 identities in the system. The applicant had paid, submitted documents, and waited for an immigration process that seemed to vanish. Not because the person vanished, the trail fractured. A forum post described a similar problem. The surname appeared in one order on a passport, another order in an older CEF record, and a shortened version on a tax document. One office searched the new passport. Another searched the old record. Neither search showed the complete story. So, what do you do when an agency cannot find you, but you can prove you have been there all along? Welcome to Portugal Rights Rebel, episode number. I'm Elena Vargas. Today, we tackle one of the most common nightmares expats face in Portugal and show you exactly how to fight back legally and effectively. Before you file again, prove how every important agency identifies you. A second application can deepen the fracture. Let's call our composite applicant Marta. Marta finds 3 clues: an old CEF receipt with a previous passport number, a Finanças record using a different surname order, and an AIMA message showing an address she left months ago. Her first instinct is understandable: submit everything again. But that may create a duplicate profile, not a solution. But Elena, if AIMA cannot find the file, shouldn't I just apply again? Not automatically. First, ask 3 questions. Is the application truly missing? Is it attached to an older identity record? Or is there already a decision, refusal, or deadline that requires a formal response? Those are different problems with different legal consequences. Portugal's administrative systems are not one perfectly synchronized database. AIMA may hold immigration information. Historical records may come from CEF. Finanças manages tax registration and your NIF. Segurança Social keeps its own information. A municipality, employer, bank, university, or landlord may have another version of your address or name. An update in one place does not guarantee an update everywhere else. The mismatch may be tiny: a missing second surname, a lost accent, a different transliteration, a married name on one record and a birth name on another. A renewed passport adds a new number. A move changes an address. An inaccessible email blocks a notice. A duplicate NIF or duplicate profile can split one person into 2 incomplete records. This is why Marta begins with an audit, not another application. Open a spreadsheet, not a giant legal brief. 1 page. Put one agency, application, or important document on each row. Across the top, create columns for your full legal name, date and place of birth, nationality, current passport, previous passport numbers, NIF, address, email, phone, family links, application references, and submission dates. Copy the exact information. Do not write same. Record surname order, accents, spaces, hyphens, initials, apartment details, and the passport number actually used. Add the document date and version. Then mark each field: confirmed, uncertain, inconsistent, or unknown. Unknown is a useful result. It tells you what to investigate instead of what to guess. For authority, begin with primary identity documents, a valid passport, and where relevant, a birth certificate, marriage certificate, or legal name change document. For tax information, compare the official Finanças record. For Social Security, compare the official Segurança Social record. For immigration history, preserve AIMA or former CEF receipts, notices, appointment confirmations, residence documents, and submission protocols. A bank statement may help support an address, but it usually does not define your legal name. A translated document may explain a discrepancy, but it does not automatically replace the agency's required evidence. Your audit is not deciding the law. It is showing you where the records agree, where they conflict, and which authority needs to answer. Keep a full version of the audit in secure storage and a redacted version for sharing. Never post a passport number, NIF, application reference, full address, or family identifying details in a public group. Use the agency's official or secure channel and send only what is reasonably necessary. More attachments do not automatically make a case stronger. They can create more contradictions and more exposure. Now, choose the legal lane. Wrong personal data? You may be looking at a rectification request. An unfavorable decision? Check the applicable response or appeal rights. No action while a deadline, status, benefit, family process, or travel decision is at risk? Get urgent advice about escalation. These routes can overlap, but one does not replace the others. The GDPR generally provides a right to request correction of inaccurate personal data, and accuracy is a central data protection principle. Portuguese data protection law and administrative procedure also matter. But the practical procedure depends on who holds the record, what role that organization has, and what the current official instructions require. Ask whether the agency is the controller for the disputed data, whether another authority is the source of the information, and whether a separate request is needed elsewhere. A lawyer or the relevant authority should confirm that for your facts. A rectification request corrects information. It does not automatically overturn a refusal, stop a deadline, prove unlawful delay, or authorize travel. If Marta has received a refusal, she needs to examine the notice and its response period. If the authority has done nothing and her rights are at risk, a complaint or a judicial strategy may need to be considered. If the error caused measurable harm, compensation may be a separate question. Do not let send us an email make you miss a formal deadline. For a straightforward correction, keep the request narrow. Identify yourself through the secure information the agency requires. Name the exact field that is wrong. State the correct version. Briefly explain the source document. Then ask for written confirmation of the corrected field, clarification about linked records, and a protocol number or receipt. A natural subject line might be request to correct passport number and link prior application. The message can be simple. Your record shows my previous passport number. My current passport is attached, and my prior application reference is listed below. Please correct the passport field, link the prior record if appropriate, and confirm receipt. Adapt this to the agency's current form, portal, language, and document requirements. This is an example, not the universal legal template. Before sending, make a submission log. Record the agency, channel, date and time, disputed field, attached evidence, protocol number, any stated response period, and your next follow-up date. Save the final request, attachments, portal confirmation, automatic reply, delivery receipt, and tracking information. A phone call may provide useful information, but it is weak proof of what was requested and when. Consistency is evidence. Do not send 5 different versions through 5 channels on the same day unless a professional tells you that strategy is necessary. Follow the agency's current instructions. If you follow up, use the original protocol number and repeat the same correction. Do not casually change your name format, address, or explanation from message to message. Marta now checks the danger of a second mismatch. Her passport renewal changed the number. Her move changed the address. Her marriage certificate explains the surname variation. She does not erase the old information. She creates a controlled personal data sheet showing the current value, the historical value, and the document connecting them. Every future submission comes from that sheet. For families, make 1 sheet per person and a separate cross-reference page. Confirm the principal applicant, spouse or partner, children, dates of birth, passport numbers, and the reference connecting the applications. Do not assume that correcting one person's record corrects everyone else's. Ask specifically and preserve the answer. Marta's correction eventually works because she can show the old receipt, the current passport, the renewal evidence, the surname document, and one clean timeline. She submits one focused request and receives a protocol. The important detail is not a magic phrase. It is the connection between documents. Same person, old identifier, new identifier, one continuous record. Now consider the failed version. Another applicant made repeated calls for months and heard that the matter was being checked. There was no written correction request, no protocol number, and no record of the exact error. When a deadline became urgent, the applicant could not prove what had been reported or when. The lesson is not that calls are useless. Calls should lead to documented action, not replace it. If an agency refuses the correction or says another authority must handle it, preserve that response. If there is silence, preserve the silence. Your request, proof of delivery, and follow-ups. Ask for the procedural or legal basis in writing. You may need access to understand what data is held, rectification, a formal complaint, or advice about judicial protection. The correct route depends on the facts, and a complaint may create a record without stopping a deadline. Get legal help sooner when the mismatch blocks a renewal, appointment, work authorization, family reunification, benefit, or necessary travel decision. Also seek advice after a refusal, threatened loss of status, missed deadline, significant financial damage, or any situation involving removal or inadmissibility risk. When screening a lawyer, ask whether they regularly handle Portuguese immigration and administrative cases, whether they distinguish rectification from appeal, what deadline they are checking, and what the written scope and fee arrangement include. Be cautious about guarantees. Bring that lawyer a compact bundle, a one-page chronology, your identity audit, relevant identity documents, receipts, application references, agency messages, proof of delivery, notices, deadlines, and a short explanation of the harm. Do not arrive with an unstructured digital avalanche. A clear timeline helps a professional see whether this is a data problem, a procedural problem, or both. Before you go to sleep tonight, create the table. Tomorrow, verify one field with one agency. Mark the mismatch, locate the strongest document, and record what you still do not know. If no deadline is at risk, prepare one careful correction through the proper official channel. If a deadline, refusal, travel issue, family matter, or financial harm is involved, stop and consult a qualified Portuguese immigration or administrative lawyer before relying on an informal correction. Your rights don't disappear at the border. The system is slow. Your preparation shouldn't be. Turn bureaucracy into accountability by making your records consistent, your requests precise, and your proof impossible to overlook. Knowledge is your best defense. Document everything, act lawfully, and protect your future. Always consult a qualified Portuguese lawyer for your specific case.